The rocket workshop is becoming a little messy here, but we got things to do. Welcome one and all, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rocket Vlogs. Today we're working on my 8-inch all fiberglass V2, and as you can see, I'm drilling some holes for the altimeter vents. If you guys will recall, I actually recessed the lower bulk plate for this electronics base so that I could fit my 9815 360 end motor case. So we actually wound up being able to get away with a lot smaller holes than I might have needed if I had used the full coupler. I believe I went with 5/16. Based on the calculations, a 1/4 inch said it would be fine, but I always bump it up another 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch for big rockets just to be sure. And then as a final little bit there in the pink section, dead in the middle, I drill another hole. That way I have a spot for my switch wires to come out. Then we get on to shear pins. I'm using 440 nylon shear pins, black ones, courtesy of railbuttons.com, because the black ones look way cooler. To my delight, my local REI started carrying royal purple 1-inch nylon, which is awesome. That's what I'm using for shock cord here. I love Kevlar to pieces, but it's so expensive that I went with 1-inch nylon in this, especially because it's locally available. It has a 4,000 pound breaking strength, so I don't have any worries about breaking it, and it's only about 45 cents a foot, I believe, so it's a whole lot cheaper to run nylon. The only issue is that it does eventually get a little bit crispy after you've flown it a few times. As usual, I'm sticking to my traditional methods here. We got some 5,000 pound rated 5/16 stainless steel quick links. I double knot it and then back tie the tails with electrical tape super tight so that it does not come untied. And after that, it's time to move on to installing the beautiful Aeropack retainer. There's something explicitly good about an Aeropack retainer on the back of a V2. Of course, if you'll recall, this retainer did not fit on this rocket at all when I got it, and I had to spend probably a good 30 minutes with the Dremel grinding out the end of that bow tail so I could get this retainer in there, but it did eventually fit, and I have to say I'm pretty content with the work because it looks super cool. Just a pro tip / reminder, if you're installing an Aeropack retainer, make sure to have a motor case in there so that it stays aligned properly. I've got my Dr. Rocket 98 10240 in there, keeping things aligned nicely. And this seems to be a fairly hotly debated topic, but with fiberglass rockets, I just run the screws straight into the back centering ring there. I drill them a little undersized so they'll still eat the threads up. There's enough screws in there that there's never going to be a situation where you're going to push the retainer out, I promise. Alright, I didn't dig into the details too much because I was on such a time crunch, but let me tell you a couple things real fast. It's an 8-inch diameter fiberglass V2. It's got 4 440 shear pins per section. It's head and dual deploy, meaning the main chute is in the nose cone. The main chute is a Sky-Angle Cert 3 XL, which I believe is a 12-foot parachute. I can't remember, but this thing weighs about 38.5 pounds without a motor in it, so that should be bringing it down between 17 and 20 feet per second, hopefully slow enough to keep the fillets from breaking once again. And we got that carbon fiber in there just in case there's a little bit of a rough hit, but here's me again. Alright, it's raining, so we gotta be pretty quick. We're gonna test the nose first. I've never done it this way, but the charge is up the tip of the nose, and the parachute's directly below that. I've had problems with head and dual deploy. My dad hasn't. You put your charges on top of the electronics bay too, normal, right? Mm-hmm. Unreal. Yeah. Okay, he's out, right? Yep. I don't know if this one's gonna fire without the, Oswald, you're gonna wanna go ahead and not be over here.
Yeah. You're not gonna like this.
Go! No.
He just says that.
And then after we do this test, assuming everything goes right and it comes off, I'm going to grab it, put shear pins back in, and then we'll fire the fin can test. There's 4 grams in the main section and 6 grams in the fin can. So assuming that works, I'm going to do 4 with 6 backup for the main and 6 with 8 backup for the drogue. 1. Yeah, that seems like plenty.
Say that's successful. 4, 3, 2, 1. Holy hell. That was key only.
I think that's plenty.
Look, I got
Dang, wow. People look really concerned.
That was something. Whoa. Probably because it's such a small area.
Oh my god. Huh? Did it take the paint off?
No, it's just covered in mud.
Yeah, that's
Took a
alright.
nosedive.
It went deep.
Oh my god.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Surprise everyone, the V2's painted. Patreon already saw it, but I might have told you guys I had a special idea for the paint job. A guy on the East Coast named David Chance used to have a 7.5 inch Honest John that he called Buttercup. He painted green and blue and yellow and pink and put flowers and peace signs all over it. So I was a little inspired by that, so I decided to go with like a semi-scale traditional V2 style paint job, but we went with blue, yeah, that's what we went with. We went with yellow and pink, and that doesn't answer the question as to why I picked the CTI M1675 pink motor to be its first flight. It should. After I painted it, I decided to add some pinstriping, which needs some touch-ups because of drilling through it, as you guys saw. But yeah, it's weird for me to do this at the end of the video. Sorry, I just didn't really have time to shoot an intro. We were trying to beat the sun going down, get everything ready so we could ground test it. Looks like those charge sizes are going to be good for plenty for the nose cone. The nose cone's so heavy that it's not going to have any problems, and it actually worked out exactly how I wanted. Putting the charge at the tip basically pushed the nose cone away from the recovery gear, so we had full deployment of the chute on the ground, even though the nose cone only went about 10 feet. There's a little over 20 feet of shock cord up here, 40 in the bottom. As you guys saw, 6 grams was plenty. I used the rocketry calculator, and it's at 8 psi for 30 inches of airframe, which is right about when we got to that top centering ring. So I think it was just super loud because that bottom bulk plate is recessed so much. It just kind of made a little concussion chamber for it to be super loud. So hopefully the neighbors aren't too upset about that one. We're in a public park, which I'm not sure if that's better or worse. Anyway, yeah, so it's ready to go. Now I just need to get the electronics bay together, and we'll go fly this next weekend in CTI M1675 pink. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry this video is probably really short, but I just thought I'd show you guys as the V2 got painted. I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing sanding and painting, and it's the same thing over and over. If you want to know how I masked this, just go watch the video where we painted the iris. Basically the exact same process. But yeah, I'm excited. This thing is heavy. With the recovery gear in it as it sits, it's 38.6 pounds with an empty 98-10-240 Dr. Rocket case in there. So I'm anticipating with the M motor in there, it's going to be probably about 45 pounds on the pad, and it should do around 9,000 feet. A couple business operations to handle real quick. The new merch has dropped. I literally burned money is what it says. It's going to be available through the end of June instead of May, since we're already kind of in May and I don't want to give you guys only 3 weeks to buy it. So that's going to be up till June. I made it a little bit cheaper because I went with a slightly lower quality shirt, so it's not the super nice flexible tri-blend ones that I have on the other ones, just to make it a little more accessible for people who feel like supporting. And it's also available on Amazon with Prime shipping. It's not 2-day because they have to make them still, but it is pretty quick. And YouTube has this new super thanks thing. So at the bottom you see the heart with the money sign in it. If you guys want to support the channel one time, you don't want to pay $20 or more for merch, and you don't want to join the Patreon monthly subscription thing, but you do want to support financially, you can click that and make a one-time donation. Otherwise, if you don't want to support the channel financially, that's absolutely fine. I'm just glad you're still here. You made it all the way to the end of the video. I appreciate everyone, whether or not you're giving me money. I'm just super glad that we're here. Subscribers are going up still. View counts are going up, and I'm having a lot of fun doing what I want to do. So I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the ride. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys at LDRS here in, what, 6 weeks or something like that. I'll be down there, Lucerne Valley. I think we're going to try and fly this ultimate endeavor that's probably off screen and you can't see. So that'll be another mad rush to get everything situated. I'm also flying my 3-inch Punisher on a K-1275 next weekend at Spud Rock. It should do about 13,000 feet. That's everything I got for you guys. Thank you for watching. This is Braden with Rocket Vlogs, and I'll see you guys next time.